where you want it.
Bay 12, please.
Hello there, Marvel fans, and welcome back to another Bay 12 video review. Today we are reviewing the Cyborg Spider-Woman figure from Across the Spiderverse, Part 1. And here she is. She is the deluxe figure of the Across the Spider-Verse Marvel Legends wave of figures. On the front, you've got an image of the figure. You've got the spider logo there on the top. You've got some artwork of her on this side. You've got some Across the Spider-Verse artwork on this side with some of the other characters like Miles and Gwen. On the back, you got another image of the figure, plus a little diagram showing how tall she is. And that's pretty much it for the packaging. And here she is out of the packaging. And she's a pretty cool looking figure. This was kind of an interesting figure to do, I think, for the deluxe figure of the Across the Spider-Verse set of figures. Honestly, I think she was an odd figure to do in general. Not that it's not a cool design, and it is a very cool design. It's very post-apocalyptic looking. I love all the different spikes and buckles, and she's got these metal bits here on this boot, but then this boot is just a little bit more normal, but a little bit open here on the side. Different straps and wrappings. She has this huge cybernetic arm that's also this minigun cannon-like thing, which really neat, really cool looking. I love the chain spider symbol that is a 3D effect on her actual suit. It's not something that's just painted on or just like a weird static molded piece. Like the chains do loop over and cross into the back here, which is really cool. I even really like these spikes of rounds poking out of her pauldron. I do feel, though, it would have been better if they were painted in a more brass paint instead of just this kind of brass-ish looking plastic, which is too thin, so it comes off as a little bit clear in some parts in person and looks a little out of place and strange. I think some brass paint would have definitely done these little bits some good here. There's some cool straps and things keeping her arm over here. She's got another little spiked bracelet here. She even has some spikes coming off of the back of her palm here. Would have been nice if they actually painted what looks like a metal plate with spikes here on the back of the palm, unless it's supposed to look red, which I don't think it is. I think that was supposed to be like gray, or at least these spikes were supposed to be gray or something. Overall, like I said, it's a cool figure. It's just a weird figure of choice for them to do from the movie, because while this is a design that stands out in a movie with a lot of spider characters, in Spider-Man 2099's Spider Base, where he sends spider people all across the multiverse to do missions and help put the multiverse back together. I like all that. I think that's cool. I think it's cool that she got a figure, but at the same time, of all the standout characters from Across the Spider-Verse, especially background spider characters, I wouldn't say that this one was one of the more standout-ish ones, at least not for me. And while she has a cool design, she didn't really do much in the movie. She's only in a few scenes, and a lot of her appearances are just background appearances. She is a background character. And there were some other spider people from Across the Spider-Verse that had actual meaningful dialogue and moments, or at least more meaningful dialogue and moments than this character did, that didn't get figures, which I find strange, and she did. I also would like to point out the lack of detail in some of the other areas of paint job. So if you look at her head here, which is a very cool head design, by the way, you'll notice that the web printing on her suit is made of barbed wire. And that's very cool. I really like that edgy detail on this very edgy design. However, if you're going to do it all the way, Hasbro. Don't just do the head and stop there, because that pattern, that texture, is all over the rest of the suit. And in some places, like on the front, and on the front of the arm right here, and on the front of the boots, they're painted in like they're supposed to be. And then you turn the figure around, and the paint all of a sudden stops just below the neck. So this whole back collar section is totally unpainted on her. The back of her arm is totally unpainted. The back of her legs are totally unpainted. Hasbro, if you're gonna do this and you're gonna charge way too much for this figure in the process, paint it the rest of the way. Don't just, do a little bit here and there and go, okay, cool, we're done. Because yeah, I mean, I don't display my figures, with their backs turned. Some collectors might, and that's their choice of expression for their collection. However, I know a good majority of collectors don't display their figures with their backs turned. So if you're going to at least demonstrate a conscious effort to fill in some of these details on this awesome character design, at least finish it. Either paint it all the way or don't paint them at all. But this half paint job stuff it's not flying anymore. We're not okay with this. Stop doing this. It's upsetting. It's insulting. As a fan, as a consumer, disrespectful. If I had to put it into one word, I would say this is disrespectful, because you guys keep raising your prices and you're not raising your quality, and that's got to change really, really soon. Something's got to give, and I would much prefer you just work it into your paint budget, since you're happy to charge $40 and $50 for deluxe figures these days, except this one is not that. This one is $60. Yes, you heard that right. This is $60. All that you see here for $60. Let that sink in for a minute. I'm not happy about that price point. That price point is way off base for what we get here. This figure is not a $60 figure. This figure is maybe a twist my arm really hard, $35 figure. But $60? What? Excuse me? No, this is not a $60 figure, Hasbro. Especially missing all of this paint detail that it should not be missing. For $60, this 6-inch figure should be the greatest quality and painted 6-inch scale Cyborg Spider-Woman figure ever produced. For $60, this figure should not only be fully articulated, but come with accessories. Any accessories. At the bare minimum, one accessory. No swappable hands, unfinished paint, decently articulated, but this is just a regular 6-inch scale figure. This should have been maybe a Build-A-Figure. Now, I understand that the card back look is better, and I 100% agree. The card back look is better, but you can still do Build-A-Figure pieces with the card back, especially with the style of card backs we currently have for Marvel Legends. There's no reason you couldn't really feasibly do Build-A-Figure parts on a card back. Aside from the price, the lack of detail, like I said, it's still a cool figure. It's still a cool idea. It's still a cool concept. Head is on a ball joint. Fully articulated shoulders, forward and back on this side. The pauldron does get in the way, but you do still, technically due to the joints, have theoretical full range of motion. It's just hindered by the pauldron. Upper bicep, double jointed elbows, wrist joints. Upper torso, hips, upper thigh, double jointed knees, ankle joints. Fully articulated shoulder on this side. No bicep joint or anything like that. That would have been really cool, especially since they even went ahead and put in the detail of the soft rubbery bits right here, where you can tell it's supposed to be able to articulate, or at least it seems like it's supposed to be able to articulate. So it'd be nice if she could at least bend her arm a little bit. That would have been neat. I get why she can't, because, I mean, look at the size of this arm. If you have a big gun arm like she does, you probably wouldn't have a bendable elbow either. But it appears as though, at least in the character design, that she should. And therefore, it should probably be articulated, but it isn't. And that's pretty much where my complaints about this figure end. It's just when you break down the price, lack of detail, lack of accessories, and the fact that this is supposed to be one of the deluxe figures, which should average around $30, $35 and should have stayed there, this is a bad figure release. There's no point in sugarcoating it. This truly is a bad figure release because of those things, because of the price, lack of detail, and lack of accessories. I am sorry, however, for you guys who may have clicked on this review thinking that this was going to be a very positive review showcasing how awesome this figure is, and really what it turned into was, well, this figure was cool in concept, but executed very poorly, in my opinion. Hasbro, I know I've talked about this in previous Marvel Legends reviews. You guys got to start doing something different. Y'all gotta have some kind of course correction with the Marvel Legends line, because I'm not saying that there's not a lot of cool characters coming and not a lot of cool figures that we're excited about as Marvel fans and as comic book fans, but the Marvel Legends line is suffering from poor quality, lack of detail, lack of accessories, and price hikes. You can't have all of those at once. You either have missing paint and low quality and low prices, or really great quality and high prices, but you can't have both and have satisfied customers at the same time. And as fans continue to be disappointed by releases like this, it's only gonna further hurt the line and hurt collecting as a whole. And that hurts my heart to say, because I truly love Marvel Legends. I love collecting these Marvel comic characters in this awesome fully articulated 6-inch scale format. But I gotta say, Hasbro, you're really making it difficult for me to want to continue collecting the Marvel Legends line when I can just look over at Todd Father and what he's done with the DC Multiverse and buy one of his deluxe equivalent, which is the Mega Action figures, for nearly $20 less. And most of the time, those figures come fully painted, and sometimes they come with extra accessories, or they don't. And when they don't, I point that out if there are accessories they should have come with, just like I would here. Now, granted, complaining about this figure's accessories, there probably weren't a lot of options that this figure could have come with. A swappable fist for this hand maybe, and some blast effects for her gun arm right here would have been really cool too. As far as any other swappable accessories and effects, honestly, I can't really think of any in this case, so I'll give you a little bit of pass on the lack of accessories on this specific example, just because other than those two things, I can't really think of anything else that would suit this figure very well. But she should have come with those couple of things, especially when this figure is $60. So I'm just saying things could have been done better, and things could have been released at a more affordable price, or rather a more suitable price to what we're getting here. So let's work together and figure something out. Guys, stay tuned for more Marvel Legends reviews here on Bay 12. I promise you they're not all negative like this review was. Genuinely, I do think this was a cool figure. I think this is a cool mold, especially with how dense she is. She is quite a dense figure, and I've stated my issues with this figure. Do I think she's still cool? Absolutely. Is she worth the price? I'm sorry, but no. But regardless, stay tuned for more Marvel Legends reviews. We'll do our best to be as brutally honest, but also point out the positives where those areas are. And make sure you like and subscribe. Follow us on social media for more. Check out our other website, CoolToyReview.com, for more daily toy news reviews. And like and subscribe to the Cool Toy Review YouTube channel. If you like Star Wars content, check out rebelscum.com. Follow them on social media, like and subscribe for daily Star Wars content. And if you're looking for cool action figures and merch, come by our stores inside Order 66 Multiverse in the shops at Willowbend Mall in Plano, Texas, which houses not only Bay 12, where we carry all kinds of awesome figures, including Marvel Legends, but also Order 66 Toys, the nation's official all-Star Wars toy store. And Order 66 goes live every Friday night from the Order 66 Toys Facebook page and ships all around the world. We'll see you guys later. We'll see you another time. It's game over, man.
That's it, man. Game over.